Happy weekend from Fextralife. If you've been too busy to keep up on the latest in the games we cover, or are looking for a refresher, we've got your back. Let's take a look at the comings and goings across the Fextralife Wiki Network.
Moving like a soldier.
E3 2017 came and went this week, and as usual we were on location, seeing and playing all of the great RPGs that were on display. It was a whirlwind week, and we've been pumping out our impressions every day. If you missed anything, don't worry, because we'll get you all caught up here and on the blog. Sony held its annual E3 conference, and as usual, it was quite the spectacle. We were live on location for all the big reveals, and if you missed it, don't worry as we've recapped everything that was revealed and announced. We got to see reveals for Uncharted Lost Legacy, Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, Days Gone, the big announcement of Monster Hunter World, Shadow of the Colossus Remaster, Skyrim VR, God of War, Destiny 2, Spider-Man, and more. Check our full recap on the blog for all the great trailers that were released for the titles. How did you feel about Sony's show? Be sure to let us know what you think in the comments. At their imaginatively themed Bethesda land, complete with rides, games, and festival food, an actual game of conference occurred in which Bethesda revealed their upcoming plans for their big titles, and we were front and center. We knew that Bethesda was looking at the potential of VR, and their existing game library certainly lends itself to the immersive gaming that VR captures. With Fallout 4 VR and Doom VR announced, we have two complementary experiences that will allow players the wasteland role-playing of Fallout or the frenetic demon killing of Doom. Two new DLC packs are coming for the Elder Scrolls Online, Horns of the Reach and Clockwork City. Horns of the Reach is coming this August and will introduce two new dungeons, Bloodroot Forge and Falkreath Hold, and will also add new items, monster masks, and achievements. Less is known about Clockwork City, but it will include 10 plus hours of new content that revolve around repelling Daedric forces and preventing disaster. The free-to-play card game The Elder Scrolls Legends is getting a new expansion called Heroes of Skyrim that will launch on June 29th. It'll add 150 new cards to the game and introduce new mechanics like shouts, as well as familiar heroes. Other new features like in-game tournaments and a Chaos Arena are coming when the game launches on iPhone and Android phones. Also shown at the conference were The Evil Within 2, Dishonored Death of the Outsider, Skyrim on the Switch, Wolfenstein 2, and The Creation Club, which allows third-party developers to create paid mods for the Bethesda family of games. It was quite the party. What are your thoughts on the conference and its announcements? High-level players of Dark Souls 3 are getting some changes to their multiplayer matchmaking as a new regulation came this week for players on all platforms. In addition, several changes were made that fix some issues that plagued the game. Check out the patch notes page on the wiki for more information on all of the changes. Our E3 experience began as the first people to see Monster Hunter World's gameplay live. The beloved action-hunting RPG from Capcom is finally making its way to the heavy-hitter platforms of PS4, Xbox One, and PC in early 2018. How does it look in the heat of battle? Check out our preview on the blog to find out. Monster Hunter World is a big console experience that hardcore fans of the series have been waiting for. No longer relegated to the handheld toy arena, the game was a perfect fit for the big screen, high-powered experience of console gaming. So much so that one has to wonder what took them so long. When this drops early next year, it's sure to arrive with a growl that would make the most ferocious of the game's monsters proud. Also at Sony's E3 conference, Guerrilla Games revealed the first DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn, called The Frozen Wilds, which is set to release in 2017. Not a whole lot is known just right now, but the trailer released in conjunction shows the expansion's new frozen setting. Keep checking in with us for more info on the DLC. Sony also revealed that Destiny 2 will come with exclusive content on the PS4. Not only will it come with an exclusive strike, the Lake of Shadows, but players will also get an exclusive PvP map, Retribution, an exclusive exotic weapon, the Borealis, and an exclusive ship, the City Apex. For those of you who are unsure which platform to purchase the game on, now that it'll be available on PC, this may help you through the tough decision. It's expected, like its predecessor, that this will be a timed exclusive that will last until approximately fall 2018. Stay tuned for more announcements about Destiny 2 as we approach the release date of September 6, 2017. At the EA Play conference, which kicked off the E3 festivities, EA and BioWare have announced Anthem, the long-rumored Project Dylan that BioWare has had under wraps. They made the announcement along with a short teaser trailer, as well as an extended look at gameplay during Microsoft's conference. We'll be sure to keep our eyes peeled for more, so be sure to check back with us for the latest and greatest updates. We had the opportunity to sit down this week with the Dauntless team at Phoenix Labs in their cozy E3 installation. Dauntless is an online free-to-play cooperative behemoth-slaying RPG that lets you and 3 friends come together to take out monsters loot their corpses, and craft new gears and weapons. Read our full impressions of our hands-on time on the blog. Overall, once the demo was done, we didn't want to leave. The addicting gameplay of Dauntless had already sunk its teeth into us. We were already teasing out strategies in our minds, things we could have done better, and the types of gear we knew we wanted. That's the mark of a game that is onto something special. Dauntless is set to release on PC sometime this year, and we plan to be there right at launch, with a few of our closest slayers in tow. For those interested in supporting the development, there's a Founders Alpha starting in August that allows players who purchase the Founders Pack to get in on some early monster slaying fun. Later at E3, we made our way to Warhorse Studios' impressive booth to give their upcoming realism-based RPG, Kingdom Come Deliverance, a first-hand playthrough. The Middle Ages era game is releasing on February 13th, 2018 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The hands-on demo for the game presented us with 3 different game mode options: the main story, a combat tutorial, and skirmish mode. No matter what you choose, the game is rendered in some of the most beautiful visuals you'll see, with faithful recreations of historical architecture from the Middle Ages, specifically Bohemia. Kingdom Come Deliverance continues to impress us with the progress it makes every time we see it in action. It is beginning to take a definitive shape as an open-world RPG that lives, breathes, and carries on its own life that both reacts to what you do, as well as follows the beat of its own drum. The game is set to release early next year, and we are looking forward to getting real with it. We also went hands-on this week with Absolver. The Absolver gameplay, although similar to Fighters with a touch of Souls mixed in, has the potential to be the best fighting game on the PS4 for those that enjoy tactical combat and abhor low-skill button mashing. Because of the combat deck, a tool that players can use to fully customize their combos, the possibility that you will ever face the same style of opponent is next to absolute zero. All in all, Absolver is shaping up to be the best fighting game this year, and possibly this generation of consoles. Players who wish to play casually can do so, as they will be matched with other players of their skill level, and hardcore players, the one this game was really meant for, will find nearly limitless depth in the game's combat and mechanics as they troll noobs and teach each other to fight. Or, if they prefer, they can fight in the game's 1v1 mode or the 3v3 mode, which provides a conquest-like experience as players must hold specific locations on a large map in order to earn points. Slowclap has been extremely ambitious with their goals for this game, but have since narrowed them to focus on what is really important, the combat. What more could a PvP player ask for? At E3's PC gaming show, 2K Games and Fireaxis have announced a new DLC expansion for XCOM 2 called War the Chosen. It will launch for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC on August 29th. The expansion will feature new soldier classes, enemies, missions with extra options for strategy gameplay and modifiers, as well as a new challenge mode that gives regular one-shot challenges for a chance to land on leaderboards. XCOM 2 released to great reviews, and this latest DLC is sure to add even more longevity for fans of the series. What do you think about War of the Chosen? Make sure you sound off in the comments. When we saw Vampyr last year at E3, we came away from the presentation impressed by how the action RPG from Dontnod Entertainment and Focus Home Interactive blended vampiric lore, action gameplay, and ambiguous moral choices. Taking on the role of Dr. Jonathan Reed, a physician who has swore to do no harm, you must make difficult decisions on who, if anyone, to feed on in order to increase in power. We had a chance to see the gameplay again and find out how much it's progressed in a year. Check out our full impressions of the gameplay demo on our blog. The atmosphere of Vampyr is heavy. It's a gloomy descent into our base urges and really presents you with the tough choices of a murky life. A game like that will live and die by its narrative, and the dialogue we've seen so far is well crafted and engaging. You want to know about these people. Rounding it out is a combat system that serves the story, not overshadows, but certainly holds its own. If the rest of the game is as we've seen, Vampyr has some strong sleeper potential. We made our way to THQ Nordic for some up-close and personal time with Elex, the upcoming open-world RPG from Piranha Bytes that blends sci-fi and fantasy. We saw Elex in person last year at E3 and Gamescom, and can safely say that the game has come a long way over the months. Read our full impressions of our session on the blog preview. Elex was impressive to see in person, and wowed us with the level of thought being applied to your freedom of choice, but also the depth of consideration given to stats, weapons, and gear, and how they all interact. It's been a while since we've treated to an open world RPG that truly lets you go anywhere and do anything at your own pace, and Elex may fill that void quite nicely when it releases October 17th for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Obsidian Entertainment dropped some Tyranny E3 news for us this week with the announcement of some new DLC goodness for the alternative sequel to Pillars of Eternity that imagines a world in which evil is won. 2 DLCs have been revealed, The Bastard's Wound coming later in 2017 and Tales from the Tears, a smaller DLC now available, as well as a new update that adds new game plus to the game. The Bastard's Wound expansion opens up a new area of the Tears where refugees from the war-torn world have established a haven in secret. New characters and new stories await players in the game, including a closer look at the world of the Beastmen. Available now for $6.99, Tales from the Tears adds new travel map events, encounters, and side stories. A New Game Plus mode has been added in the new update patch and can be used from the New Game menu. Choosing to start a New Game Plus requires a Game Complete save, which are automatically generated when the game is completed. This is quite the roar for a game that had perhaps fallen off of people's radars, with the crowdfunding announcement of the true sequel, Pillars of Eternity 2. Thoughts on the new content coming our way? Sound off in the comments. At Focus Home Interactive's E3 2017 booth, we were given a taste of madness with a journey into the upcoming investigative RPG Call of Cthulhu from Cyanide. The game incorporates the psychological horror of H.P. Lovecraft with the pen and paper RPG Call of Cthulhu and lets players take the role of investigator, using stealth to unravel the mystery of the events on an isolated island, while also staving off your own descent into insanity. Read our preview of the game's demo on our blog. Call of Cthulhu has a provocative name that instantly lifts expectations. At first look, the game seems like it may just have the ingredients it needs to deliver on that promise of madness. The developers have described it as a visual graphic novel, and it remains to be seen just how deep the RPG framework goes. Regardless, if the narrative retains its well-crafted pacing to go along with the arresting imagery of the Lovecraft universe, Call of Cthulhu should be a game that any fan of psychological horror will want to play into the wee hours of the night. If they're brave enough. It's set to release in 2018 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The first Ni no Kuni game came to the world as a welcome breeze that blended traditional RPG exploration with Studio Ghibli visuals that hooked players as well as a sweeping story. We had a chance to see it firsthand at Bandai Namco's E3 2017 booth. Check out our full impressions of our hands-on time with the game on the blog. Ni no Kuni 2 is shaping up to be another helping of cake for those who loved the first game. It retains the charm of the first, and the graphics are still outstanding despite no longer being done in conjunction with the studio. Its trademark visuals have been bolstered by an evolution in its battle system and more options for gameplay, and should capture hearts when it releases November 10th for the PS4 and PC. And that's a wrap for the Week in Wikis. We're looking forward to another great week of gaming fun. Don't forget to check out our VIP program for some exclusive supporter benefits, and budding writers should take advantage of our Become an Author initiative. Thanks for a great week, and as always, keep checking in with us for news, reviews, YouTube streams and videos, and general wiki goodness. Follow us on social media for all the latest and greatest. The more followers we get, the larger the army of the Fexes grows.